Okay. Thank you, Sarah and Eileen, for joining me in this meeting so that we can discuss 10 common norms of effective teamwork. The objective of this meeting will be to collaboratively create a list of 10 common norms of effective teamwork. And our agenda for this meeting will be to set ground rules, have a roundtable discussion of our ideas and what we each consider as norms, narrow down our list that we come up with to 10 ideas, and then come to a clear consensus on the final list. So if we want to get started with just a few ground rules that we can maybe agree on as a team, I guess it would just be to allow each other to speak without talking over one another. And if somebody happens to disagree with something, to just disagree respectively and maybe come up with a alternative that you might want to suggest. And that at the end of this meeting, we'll equally come up with a consensus on what we agree on. So does everybody agree with that or have a rule they want to add?
I mean, I think those are good rules to start with.
Okay, well, great. Well, Sarah, do you want to start with a few ideas you have?
Yes. So a few that I came up with were interpersonal skills, being able to openly communicate with each other and provide constructive feedback, decision making and problem solving skills, to have someone who is good at identifying potential issues or that's good at solving problems. And then having someone possibly who is good at kind of coming to a final decision on maybe the best course of action to move forward. Being open-minded to other people's ideas and kind of taking them into your own perspective and applying them along with the group. And then playing on each other's strength when dishing out tasks, kind of utilizing what each member in the team is good at and kind of applying a task that kind of goes with what that strength is.
Oh yeah, that would be really good. That would be really helpful so that you don't have somebody doing something and they really don't have a clue what they're doing when the whole time you have somebody on your team that has full knowledge on it.
I do agree with Sarah. I tried most of the time. I do work with a lot of people, and I also try to find out what they're good at and try to have them do something that they're going to feel comfortable doing because they know what they're doing.
Right. Yeah. I think that's a very big aspect of effective teamwork.
Great. And Eileen, what do you have as suggestions for good ideas of effective norms?
For my main one will be share vision. I believe that it is very important that when we are in a team, we share the same vision. For us to achieve high performance, we must first visualize what we intend to achieve as a team. And we must have the same vision, because if we're not in the same path, it's not going to work well.
You want the same end result.
Yes. Also, cooperation. Teamwork can increase productivity and motivation, as well as the enjoyment of your work when we cooperate with each other. Clear and realistic objectives. It is good to say that a team can work together, but if the members are not sure what the goals or objectives are, teamwork is essentially impossible. So we have to have we have to be clear on what our objectives are. And my last one is good communication. That's the main thing. We need to be able to communicate well and understand each other.
Yeah, communication is definitely key in having good teamwork. And to jump on to that, I'd say having trust and maintaining it in the group, that would help the overall effectiveness of the team, because it'd be better with trust, because without it, the team would really suffer. Another suggestion I would have would be to rotate leadership. When team members all have a chance to lead, that removes potential of someone trying to take over the group because of their title. And this way everyone feels equal, and therefore the teamwork will remain effective. Working collaboratively, this kind of coincides with your cooperation that you touched on. If the team is collaborating, which is basically what we're doing now, the team is all throwing out ideas and working together. It's a joint effort, and that'll make for a higher performance overall. And my last one that I had was member dependency. I think that when team members depend on each other, that brings a higher level of efficiency to the group, because it's like everyone's pulling their weight and contributing something to the group, because they know they can all rely on each other to provide their input.
Do you feel that member dependency and interpersonal skills, it's similar, or?
Not really, because to me, interpersonal skills is your ability to work with people and be able to, the way you are able to communicate with people. And like, if there's a disagreement in a group, you have those interpersonal skills to be able to work through it. So that's more of like a relationship, like working with people as far as interpersonal skills, versus which one?
Member dependency.
Yeah, the dependency for that, that's more so relying on someone else in your team to hold their weight, basically. Like,
okay, so it's like if I depend on collaborate with the others members of my team in order to come up with an idea.
Yeah, like if we set a meeting and we ended the meeting saying, Eileen's going to come back to the next meeting with this report, we're depending on you to bring that report when you come back.
All right.
If that makes sense. So I think what I heard from Sarah, to sum up what she said, her suggestions were interpersonal skills, decision-making and problem-solving skills, being open-minded to ideas, and being able to play to each team member's strength. Is that right, Sarah?
That is correct.
And then Eileen, you said to have clear and realistic objectives, clear communication, a shared vision,
Cooperation.
and cooperation?
Yes.
Okay. So out of all these, we need to come up with a list of 10. So what do we think? This is a top 10 list that we need to make here. So out of what you heard off the top of your head, what would you rank as like some really strong ones?
Definitely the communication, I feel like, is, we all are kind of agreeing that that is absolutely a necessity to be able to effectively work together within a team. You have to be able to know how to communicate with people and be able to take constructive feedback, whether it's someone comes up with an idea that may just kind of flow better than what you offered. You have to be able and willing to kind of accept that and kind of go with what's going to work best for the team.
So are we thinking, because we started out saying clear communication, but you ended that sounding like tying into your being open-minded to ideas. So that sounds like a combination of
the two,
yours and Eileen. So do we want to combine this? Like,
yes.
We can make one of them be clear communication and open-mindedness.
Yeah, I think
that's a good idea.
Things
I can notate both of your names next to it because that was a combination of both of your suggestion. And okay. And anything else that sticks out as a good one?
So I definitely think rotating leadership.
Oh, yes.
Is a great idea.
Yep. That's a great idea.
Takes out any possibility of conflict of someone kind of taking abuse of title and power. It kind of gives everybody a fair chance to.
And I think everybody feeling equal really helps the team morale overall.
Right.
Okay.
And you're not depending on just one person for everything.
Right.
I think we should definitely keep playing to the strengths, because we're not wasting anybody's time by like having them work on something that it's clearly not their realm when you possibly have someone that it is.
Right. And I think that kind of also improves the overall final touch, the final project of someone who knows what they're doing and they're comfortable. They're going to be able to kind of produce a better outcome versus someone who's kind of unfamiliar. You may only get a small portion of the research, or they may not know how to utilize certain tools to kind of bring to the table everything versus someone who knows what they're doing and they're comfortable with it.
Yes. I always, and this is a personal experience. At school, I always get parents that come concerning about their kids not being good in, let's say, math or algebra, but then they're doing good in a different subject. And I always tell parents a simple story, like, okay, let's say that your wife is good cooking, but she might not be good ironing. So it's the same thing in school. Some kids are good at, in one subject and not at another. So that's why we're trying to find out what they're good at, so that in the future, when they go to college, they know what subject or path, career they're going to take.
Right.
What about you, Eileen? What do you think should be one we should definitely keep on the list?
Share vision.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that there's a clear-cut consensus on what the expectations are and what's to be expected. I think that is going to boil over to a much smoother transition amongst the team.
Yes.
So that kind of ties, what's to be expected sounds like that ties into the clear and realistic objectives. So is that one we want to list too? And do you think these should remain separate, or? Because what's the difference? What's the clear difference between having?
Yeah, I guess that when you're sharing a vision, you already have it clear and it's realistic. So you're right. Yeah, I think it should be combined. This is life.
Okay. All right. So, what about? I think another one should be
Problem solving. What do you think about that?
I think we have problem solving. Yeah. That's a good one.
And that was Sarah's, right?
Yes. I think another one.
You can share that we invited your dog to the meeting as well. Part of the team.
I'm so sorry.
He has an opinion.
That's fine. I have one behind me too.
Is it really loud?
Yeah, that's good.
I think trust should be on the list.
I agree. I think that's important.
Yes. And trust was you.
Yes.
Okay.
I think we need one more.
No, we need 4 more.
4 more.
Yeah, I have 6 so far. I have clear communication and open-mindedness. We agreed that was going to be 1 combined, and that was from both of you. And then I have rotating leadership, which is from me. Then I have play to team member strengths, which is from Sarah. Then I have shared vision, which is from you. Then I have problem solving, which is from Sarah. Then I have trust, which is from me, and that's 6.
Oh, I have leadership rotation twice.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but
So we did this, did that.
did you say something about member dependency?
Yeah.
So that's already in your list?
No, that's not on my list. Do we want to add that to the final list?
Yeah, I think it's important because it kind of plays into once things are kind of assigned and there's a clear cut understanding.
Right.
Role kind of has to everybody's responsibilities kind of have to come together in order to finalize the end result.
Right. All right. So now we need 3 more. Problem solving.
Collaboration? Somebody said something about collaborating.
Yeah, I did.
Oh yeah, that was Amanda.
Okay. And I think we should definitely incorporate the interpersonal skills.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more.
Cooperation, trust. One, 2, 3. Did we list all mine on here?
Yes, what I think happened was that we merged some of ours, so that made our list smaller.
Yeah, some of them we combined and turned into one.
Okay. Well then, what about cooperation?
Yeah, I think that
Isn't that the same thing as working collaboration?
Right.
Cooperation and collaboration is like this. No?
Yeah. Dependency, trust, leadership, rotation.
We have trust.
Did we see? That's the thing. I think we had 12 altogether, but we combined 2. So let's revisit that. shared vision. Okay, I think, how about we do shared vision, and I think, can you remind me what your, so for shared vision, you said everybody has the same visual on what they intend to achieve.
And yes.
And then what was, remind me exactly what you said for your description for realistic objectives.
So it's good to say, that a team can work together, but if the members are not sure what their goals or objectives are, teamwork will not be possible. So the objectives for the group should be established clearly and concisely. Ideal, the success of these goals should be easily measurable and established within a certain period.
Okay. I kind of think that we should be able to separate those, because they align a little bit, but they still have differences where they could stand on their own.
Okay.
What do you think? Or do you think they're still too similar?
I mean, I feel like it can go either way. Another option could be to kind of also create like a deadline, to set a deadline. So once tasks are kind of advised and the group does come to that general consensus of what we're going to do and the course of action we're going to take, coming to an understanding of kind of like a timeline of when we expect to have certain aspects of that particular outcome completed in the event that needs to fall onto another person. So like if you do a portion and then let's say Eileen can't do her portion until she has yours, kind of understanding how long each person has to be able to complete something. I don't know if that's effective, like if that would fall under the lines of a 10 normal.
I think what you just described still falls under an objective, because when you set a part of setting a realistic objective is also setting a deadline. The deadline should be part of the objective. Like, our goal is to do this, and part of your goal should be when you expect to have it by.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it sounds different enough between the two that they should be able to stand on their own instead of combining them.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that they both have the personalities to work both ways.
Okay, so let me go down this final list so that we can all make sure we're coming to a clear consensus on agreeing on this list. So, okay. Clear communication and open-mindedness, and that was from both of you. Rotating leadership, that was from me. Play to team members' strengths, that was from Sarah. Shared vision, that was from Eileen. Problem solving, that was from Sarah. Trust was from me. Member dependencies from me. Collaboration was from me. Interpersonal skills is from Sarah. And having clear, realistic objectives is from Eileen. And then that makes 10.
Okay. Yeah, I think those are all great.
Yes.
Okay, well, great. So now we have went over all our options and collaborated together, and we've got our list.
Great.
Great. Well, see you at the next meeting.
Thanks. Bye.